I'm not mad. I'm angry.
Hola.
Hello again.
Hi.
Hi.
All right.
How
Welcome
are
to the
you
Hey.
class.
feeling, Geshe Michael? I heard you were sick.
I was sick, yeah, for a couple of days. I got where the place where we had the class on Saturday, the heater broke, and
Oh,
I think we had a long couple classes, and I got sick from that, but I'm okay. Uh, okay. I was thinking about this class, and I was thinking that I would like to not prepare for this class. And I would like to just kind of pretend that I'm just sitting at home and I'm trying to think of what the database needs next. What's the next thing we have to do with the database? And there's about three things on my mind right now. There's about 50 different jobs that we need to do with the database. The database has not been updated for 26 years. And so it's a great database. It has, I think, 15,000 books in it, but we have a lot more books, and we got to get them into the database. And I kind of like to make this a group thing today. I'm going to show you my screen. Let me see here. You can see, right? You can see my indexes. Yeah,
Yes,
these
Yes.
are
sir.
my categories on my computer. I keep the database under A because it's the fastest way to get to it. These are the materials I have for the database. These are not historical mainly. These are mainly live. It means these are all things that should go into the database. And these are all things that we have to deal with. The basic database, and I know this is not so interesting for a lot of people, and I don't mind if you just drop out of the class, okay? But I'm hoping that people can help me. I think there's a lot of fresh people who can help me get the database up to date, which is a huge job. There's 15,000 books or something. So anyway, when you talk about the ACIP database or ALL database, it has these basic parts to it. And I know most of you know this already. This is the Kangyur. This is the original teachings of Lord Buddha. You can see here, I think, let me move this. In the last, no, that's not true. Okay, don't worry about that. Well, let's try. The last volume of the Tantra, you see, we haven't even finished it yet. We didn't put the catalog numbers here. So anyway, it has about 990 different books here. And that's pretty much finished and it's pretty much categorized and things like that. Uh, the, the Kangyur is extremely simple because it only has 12 main categories. You can see them here, okay? So from Vinaya up to Tantra. And then the 13th category here is the native catalog, which was the Tibetan catalog to the Kangyur. The Tibetans did a job of saving the books from India better than anyone in history. There are other countries which tried to do it, and some of them did very good job, but the Tibetan is the best. So there's the Kangyur. Then here's the Tengyur, which has you know, uh, 15, I'll say 16 original categories. You can think of these numbers as being like the shelves of the library where the books are stored. And the shelves for the Kongyur, there's only 12 shelves. For the Tengyur, there are 16 shelves, okay? And mostly these shelves don't have subcategories. Like here's Madhyamika, here's Prasangika Madhyamika, and it does not have any other categories. But the Tantra was divided out secretly, which is the way it should be. And here you can see all the highest level Tantras. Here's the third level Tantras. Here's the second level Tantras, and here's the first level Tantras. And so all of the Tantras were, this was a lot more work. Like for Tantra here you have, you basically have 4 categories. And that's the way Tantra was done. Then you've got the commentaries from Tibet. Let me get this guy over here. You've got all the commentaries from Tibet, which I put under, we call them Sungbum. And here's all the books from Tibet that explain the Kongyur and Tengyur. And hi. Okay. Then you've got, let me see here. I want to show you Tantra in Tibet, okay? Here's the Tibetan breakdown, which we took many years to do this. And I forget how many it is, but maybe it's 150 Tantras or something like that. And we're using it a lot nowadays. We are developing an empowerment for 2 big groups of our students. And, you know, we're working on other Diamond Way materials for DCI, which are safe and legal. But this is the Sumbum. Now, we did in the ancient times, in my time, we had a separate category called reference. And it had catalogs, dictionaries, official documents like the constitution of my monastery or something, and historic documents. But later on, I thought it's easier to put the reference materials. Well, no, I didn't move them yet. But those are basically the 4 parts of our database, okay? Kongyur, 1, Tengyur, 2, Sumbum, which means commentaries, 3, and then reference books like dictionaries and catalogs. I also, Nick and Ben, I put this separately because, like the catalog of the St. Petersburg collection, which you can see here, it has 141,000 entries. And it's just crazy. It's just, many search programs can't handle it. It ties up Microsoft gets tied up on it. So it's easier to do. It's easier to do it this way. The other things I have there are things that I use in my own daily work. One is the Nartan Tengyur, which is, as you know, is being split up now by our team. It was not split up from its separate volumes. And then what I call reference outside. These are catalogs that are so big they blow up search programs. Sanskrit has been replaced by Aisha Skoufalos' work, and she's creating an equivalent database for Kongyur and Tengyur in Sanskrit, and she's just about finished after years of work. And then we have these 3. And here is the, you know, the sad thing, which is the uncatalogued data as of many years ago. And this was from June of 2003, and there's hundreds and hundreds of books here. And thousands of books, and they're not cataloged yet. So, but my basic question today for you guys, and I can turn it to a discussion. These exist in my computer as I don't use a separate database program. I built them into the architecture of the file system of the computer. So, why I did that was that I always give the example of Gene Smith, who was the great founder of BDRC, who started doing this stuff in the 1960s, who, he put all his data into a thing called Ask Sam. Ask Sam is an ancient database long before Microsoft and Excel, and he put all his work in Ask Sam. And then one day Ask Sam went out of business, and they stopped supporting the program, and all his data was immediately lost. And then I learned something about what we call future proofing. So I would like our database, I'd like there to be a master copy of our database, which is future proofed as far as possible. Nothing is really future proof. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But as our job as historians or archivists, we have to find the least expensive, most stable way on a computer to store the basic data. Then if other people later, they want to make special databases using the programs that are current in their time, they can do that. So my dream is that ACIP, our job, is to create a very, very primitive, very low level, but unchangeable record of all the books and all of their contents. And then other people can do fancy stuff with it later, and those fancy things will not last very long. They will last 10 years, 20 years, and then somebody else will come up with a fancier thing. But they will all use the primitive, basic data that we supply. When you drill down through the program, they will all be based on the work that we do. And that's the way it's working right now in the world. So my question to you, which is, the nerds in the audience, I think John Malbus might be here, I don't know. But,
I am.
hi. So my idea is pretty basic. My first question today, I have 3 questions today. One is, without using something like, what's that called, where we all keep our common files?
Dropbox.
Without using a Dropbox type of thing, or a Microsoft Outlook type, I don't know. Without using anybody's program, can you guys come up with a way that I can send directories filled with data for free? Can we, and by the way, I'd like to put it on the DCC website. I understand on the DCC website now, Nick and Ben, if I'm correct, although I haven't looked at it, I can download the whole database, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just a normal user can download the whole database for free. They can take it, and what they download, is it still in this format, still in the file format?
It is.
Yeah, that's exactly how you have preserved it.
Exactly. Okay, good. Now that is very primitive and very safe and not fancy, but all the data is preserved correctly. And so I just want to make sure with you guys that this function on our website is working. Like, can normal human beings download our data for free easily?
Yes, they do come from a Dropbox.
Oh boy, yeah. Is there any way to get around the Dropbox?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, we can host it
for
separately.
sure. Yeah, we certainly can. We could certainly host them, just host the file and
Okay.
have them be able to download a zipped file.
I know that, but can they download the whole structure? Is my
Yeah,
question.
they would.
Yes.
The only difference is that the way it is now, they could go in and they would get access into the Dropbox folder and they can browse it like by subject category the way it is now.
Yeah.
But if we just wrap it, we could do both. But if we wrap it and host it natively on the site, then they could just download it.
And it would just become part of their directories the way it is on my computer right now.
Yeah,
It
it
would
would
just
go
be a
into their
folder on their-
downloads. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the if you do that, then I can rest in peace. Okay. So it's a button on the DCC website that downloads it to your file directory structure, so that it looks just like mine here, except there's just Kongyur, 4 things: Kongyur, Tengyur, Sumbum, and reference, right?
Yeah, and it is doing that currently. It just happens to
Okay.
be using Dropbox as the method of storage.
Is there a way to avoid Dropbox?
Yeah, well, we can totally do it probably pretty easily.
Okay. So do it. How
You got
long? Give me a
Um,
date. Nowadays, I'm going to be picky. I'm going to say, give me a date.
Yeah,
Just
I don't
takes a
know.
little research. Hard
What's
to
the
give you an
last
exact
night?
date.
What's the last night you stay up late to get this done?
We could probably have it done in a couple weeks. I mean,
Okay. Can we say it's a 1420? Can we say Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, February 14th. Okay. Now somebody else. I don't know who wants to be the secretary of this class. Anybody suggestions?
I'm taking notes, Geshe Michael.
Venerable Utpala?
Yeah.
Okay, please ring an alarm on February 10th. Write and remind Nick and Ben to get this done. Okay. Seriously. And then on the 14th, or whichever is the closest to cataloging class, those esteemed gentlemen will show us how it works.
Sure.
And the whole point is to make it super easy for anyone in the world to get our data. And by the way, we made deals like with Oxford University long ago, Library of Congress, BDRC. You can steal our stuff, you can put it on your website, and you don't have to tell anybody it's us. You can just say it's yours. And Gene Smith's collected works, for example, I input them because I thought they were important, with his permission. And then they put it up on their website. They never credited ACIP, and it's okay. The same thing happened with a very long Tibetan English dictionary that was done by a esteemed group in Asia, and it took us 2 years to input it, and they never credited us. And it's okay. That's fine. We just want to get the information out to people. So Nick and Ben, your downloadable ASCII stupid database will have 4 sections. Is that true? Kongyur, Tengyur, Sumbum, and reference, right?
Yes, sir.
Is
Nothing
it
else, nothing less.
Nothing else, nothing less. I mean, do you want it necessary? Do you want them to have to download it all at once? Or is it okay to separate them? So if someone wants one of the folders or they want all of the folders, should those both be options?
Oh, no, absolutely. Anyone who wants to download any part of the database down to a single paragraph, it's fine. Or they want to download the Kongyur without the Tengyur, that's fine. If you have a way to do that, that's fine.
Yeah, right. We
but
can give
to
those
be-
basically
Yeah.
5 options. I mean, what I'm sure we can deliver by Valentine's would be 5 options, which would be one of those 4 folders or the whole thing.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, and I'll tell you something. Since the times when we did this work, when we started this work 38 years ago, the storage capacity is infinitely higher now. And you can put all this stuff on one flash drive, and
Yep.
So I mean, it's an insignificant amount of data now. I don't see why anybody would be nervous to dump the whole thing on their computer. It's less than a movie, probably.
No problem. And the only reason that we have used Dropbox historically is because there were updates, and so Dropbox allowed for the latest version. So it just
Okay.
means that as we go through this process together and we continue cataloging, we'll just have to change out that folder regularly if we want them to be able to get the absolute latest version.
Yeah, and I don't mind to keep the Dropbox and the ASCII going at the same time, or I don't mind to keep those two going at the same time. And you're saying as operating systems change, we might have to update the actual folders or something like that?
No, Dropbox has just been hosting the ASCII files. It's just been hosting a folder, a flat folder. And the reason we did that is because without anyone being able to change anything, it allowed while in-house we made updates that the version they downloaded would always be the latest one.
Great.
Down to the minute. So if we restructure it that we're hosting it on our own website, we will just have to be on top of doing updates every time we make a change, or we'll just schedule weekly updates or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, Amelie, how do you feel?
Good.
Grandma, you want to see Amelie? She just had her tonsils out. Veronica wants to say hi.
Hi, Amelie. Are y'all better?
Mostly.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh, good. You're brave.
I didn't get your tonsils in the mail yet.
They got the cookies, though. They got the cookies.
Wait, you mean they were in the cookies? No. Okay. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, the next thing on my mind, okay, and I'm not planning this class very well, but I'm in my database here. I know what's next, or what I think is next, and there's 100 things we could talk about. But one thing I would like to talk about is I have not updated my database regularly at all. Once in a while, I will put in a book. What's happened in the last 26 years is when I absolutely need a book that's not in our database, I ask Nick to have an input, and then I put that into the. I throw it into my database, but not in a good way, not in a regular way, and so I think, Nick, whatever version you have of the database and whatever version I have of the database have diverged from each other, probably.
Yeah, at some point I stopped sending you updates, although you always have access to the most updated version because you're shared on the Dropbox of the daily, most updated version.
So does that? Where do those texts go? They go into like a holding folder to be cataloged or something?
Yeah, and actually online there is, online there's a version of, there's a Dropbox version of the database where it also has the uncatalogued data folder.
Okay.
And in the uncatalogued data folder, which may be different from the one that you're looking at on the screen right there. Yeah, we have another folder in there that is uncatalogued data that was input, when I started working on the input centers. So between 2015 or so and now, and so it's all the stuff. And some of that we have cataloged and put into the database. As you know, it's not a significant amount compared to the size of the database. But we are cataloging, and there is another folder that, Ben and I and Adam have been working on for a few years that has stuff that's pretty much ready. And today, the Kelson Getza text that you were looking for, I found it in there. So I'll send it over to you after class.
Oh, great. Yeah. This is the 7th big teacher, and we're using some of his materials. So what I'm saying is, if we have to start over again on a definitive database with these 4 groups in it, we would use yours probably.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that would be a great place to start because it's more relevant to everything
Okay.
we've been working on.
And now we'll have this other problem that Geshe Michael will have added a few weird items into his database that may not even be in your database.
Yeah, this
Therefore,
stresses me out daily.
I'm about to ask somebody like John Malpass, or maybe with the help of Mr. AI, what's his name, Jamie Plant. I think it's possible, John and Jamie, if you're here, I think it is probable that you could ask the AI to compare the two ASCII folders and alert you to differences. Make you a list of the differences, right?
Yeah, it would take a few minutes probably.
Okay, good. So,
I can't do that. I just got to get the new folders from
okay.
DCC
So,
website, Dropbox.
Yeah, well, I'll send it to you, Jamie.
Okay.
yeah, so Jamie, how do I send you mine?
I think you gave it to him. Is
No,
that
but
true,
all
Jamie?
my conjure.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you
I
already
have
got-
your data, but as of last December, so I'm sure
That's
it's
good enough. That's good
Okay.
enough. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. Great. So please run a comparison. This puts my heart at ease. When I saw you and Bo's AI mastery thing, it makes me happy because I think you can spit out this kind of a list. And then, Nick, we'll just have to confirm that the subject categories are correct for the ones that are not in my database. And you see what I
Oh,
mean?
they would have been approved by you. We didn't
Okay.
we didn't
Okay.
subject categorize anything that wasn't approved by you.
Okay, good. That's good.
We made
So
sure you read every line of it. Can I ask you,
Yeah.
boss, just
Yeah.
a clarification in terms of
Okay.
hosting. So
Yeah.
we can host the file and put it on the website. We have right now our main copies are on Dropbox, but it's another host.
Yeah.
So all that does is essentially the same thing that putting it on our website does. Now it that does put it in two places. And so it means if one fails for some reason, an
Mhm.
asteroid hits, then we only lose one of them. But essentially the hosting it on our website is not truly different from hosting it on Dropbox. It's a folder sitting on one server or a folder sitting on another server. All in all, um, Dropbox is a more reliable server. There's no reason not to also have it on ours,
Oh,
but it
okay.
is the same thing.
Yeah, I understand.
With
Mike,
Dropbox, there's somebody to blame if things go.
Yeah.
but let me ask a question.
Russell has history.
If Dropbox died suddenly, would our data be protected?
Our data is on each of our hard drives. So,
Okay. Okay.
so the way that Dropbox works is we all have local versions of everything.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
I mean, but backing it up regularly is a very good idea.
Healthy thing.
Yeah.
While we're on that subject, do we back up regularly, and do we have a backup service or something?
Well, we
Dropbox
all
is our
have
backup service.
Yeah, Dropbox. We have multiple Dropbox folders of it. We each have versions of it backed up on our computers.
Okay.
I do have versions backed up on hard drives, although that is not something I've done in a couple of years.
Yeah. Okay.
We could also be backing up on hard drives, servers. I mean, I would like some advice. Maybe Jamie or other tech people present have ideas about what would be the most reliable and secure ways to store backups, including printing out the entirety of the database and burying it in the desert. I mean,
Diamond Mountain.
yeah.
I have a question for you, which comes from that. Is when I download the database for my private use, my intention originally was, if you ever found yourself on a desert island without internet, that database would work fine on your individual computer. Is it still like that, right?
Yes.
100%. Yeah, it is in no way synced to the cloud.
Yeah, good.
As long as it's on your computer. So the way that the ALL website has it is a live database where you're accessing it through the cloud. If you look at it within Dropbox, you're looking at it through the cloud. But if you download it, which you're able to through our website and the ALL website, I believe, it will exist on your computer independent of cloud access.
Then, Venerable Utpala, if you're writing a, by the way, we had in 2000, in 1996 or something, we did a release. We did a release book with our policies in it, and it was huge. It was really fat. We should go back to having those policies. Maybe you could be the secretary who writes the policies down and keeps them in one place. But and we could use the old policies and just cut out what's not relevant anymore. But in my opinion, there should be some machines existing in the world in different continents that are not connected to the internet ever.
Air gap.
Yeah, we could do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because I believe it wouldn't be too hard, even for Jamie, to write a program to change all the data. Do a batch changes of the data. If there was some person or some event that you didn't want a record of, and you had the resources, you could back change from your data center in wherever country you're in. You could change all the data of all the users who are hooked up to the internet.
Yeah.
And you could, en masse, you could wipe out events or people, and if your AI was good enough, it wouldn't be noticeable. So that it had been done, So like it could still have the same
passwords, though, Geshe Michael.
Say again?
Like, don't you use a password on your machine? No one touches my machine without knowing my password.
Many people touch your machine without knowing your password. Trust me. So, those days are gone. So I think we should have some dumb computers, sprinkled around the world, in case of a nuclear problem. That could retain the data, and I like Nick. I think just for old time's sake, like the Nag Hammadi manuscripts in Egypt, we'll put the data on paper and bury it in stupas at Diamond Mountain or something. But I don't know. You never know. Those Nag Hammadi guys probably thought it wasn't gonna ever be seen by anybody either. So. That's okay. Okay, so those are policy things. Those are ACIP policy things. So we have and by the way, I always feel like ALL will just keep up with us. And what we do with the database, with adding text to the database, which I think for the ACIP database should be controlled by ACIP. Then we just hand it out to other people who want to make it available, including ALL. We haven't built into our ACIP site the capacity to store the scans. Can I say? You can't get scans off of the ACIP database or DCC.
Yeah, we don't host any of that. I believe ALL website hosts some scans because of the scanning work that they've been partnering with BDRC doing and so forth. But
it's not on the DCC site.
No, and it's not in the ACIP database.
Okay, let's call it DCC database maybe. Is it something we want? Is it something we want to do, or we want to? I'll tell you right now, BDRC is the only people who have all the scans that I'm aware of in an easily accessible way. Or
I already built it.
Do we want to get in the business of that, Jamie? I don't know.
I already built it. So
Uh-huh.
so everything in the database, Kongir, Tengir, Sungbum, that has scans available, I already built it so it's all linked. So you can open up any text and
Okay.
you're gonna see the
If the
scan
if the
for all.
BDRC website went down, would it still be available?
Uh, Not currently, but I can
Yeah.
download all of that data and keep it
Yeah.
locally as well on backup. So
Do you
totally
have the
That
doable.
would be amazing. We have hard drives with all of BDRC floating around. JB has one, yeah, or with all of BDRC as of 2019 or something.
I can
But do you,
I can set it
Jamie?
all up very, very organized, and then so
Okay.
I can
There's
also
only
set it up that it checks for recent data and updates and downloads and keeps it fresh. And then we
that's
can
yeah.
keep local, as you were saying before, we could keep local copies of that distributed around the world, and
Good.
we can set up a system to do all of that pretty easily.
That sounds great. I think you can anticipate my next question.
Mhm.
Have you devised a method to match the scan to our input, to match the correct scan to the input, to the corresponding input?
That's exactly what I was talking about. That's what I built.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So you can go folio by folio through
Yeah.
everything. They're gonna be synchronized.
Good. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I was worried about.
Okay.
Great. A lot of the early input we did, I'm thinking of the Ratadura because I'm working on it nowadays. There was a text, a very, very rare text, that someone walked into the computer center and said, I'll loan this to you for 3 weeks if you want to input it. And then he walked off with the text. We never got the scans of it. And so I think some of the early data in the ACIP database might be like that. There may not be scans available.
Oh, I should clarify, Geshe,
Yeah.
that coverage was 100% for
Really?
Kongir and Tengir, but for Sungboom, I only had 40% coverage for scans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there seems to be, yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
So I don't know. They might be available elsewhere, but we just have to.
Yeah.
Why don't I can create a list of the ones that I don't have coverage for, and then we can try to find
Yeah.
that, try to get that up as high as possible.
I think that effort would be, I mean, it's nice to have, and I'm purposely avoiding those kinds of efforts nowadays. I mean, it'd be nice to create the list and to publicize the list, but then to walk around India and try to find those that's a huge thing, but that's good. That's nice. Okay, my next question. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Just on that, it may seem obvious, but just if we are in the business of backing these up in a way that's separate from the internet, it just has to be really clear to everyone that you would be making an additional copy from a new copy and not replacing the original. You have to keep all the old copies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If a central one were somehow corrupted some way, then replacing an old copy with a new copy would not solve our problem. So it means that you would need an ever-growing pile of hard drives, which is not at all impossible to do. It's just critical that someone remembers they have to do that.
Yeah, I think we can do that, and I think we can get funding for this. By the way, I did acquire some funding for this project, the cataloging effort, and let me review that and see who's going to be on the team and how we can help pay you, the people who decide to work on it in a dedicated way. Something else. Okay, Nick, I mean, sooner or later, these meetings were going to come down to this moment. So you have lots of files floating around. I have lots of files floating around. She sounds pretty good. Now we got to start putting them in the database, which is what we're here for.
Yeah.
But and some of them are on the top of my head, And everybody should know that when we input a new book, like recently, I worked on a commentary to one of Nagarjuna's 2 letters. Nagarjuna that I know of wrote 2 letters to kings that are very famous. Nick is working on one. It's going to be a while. And the other was called A Letter to a Friend. And there's a commentary by Judson Kapa's teacher named Rendawa. And we did not have Rendawa's books input. And so to do research on his new book, by the way, which was finished and is in the publishing stage now. And I think it'll be a wonderful elementary book for our students. There's 2 versions of his collected works that I know of. And even one of them, I believe, was so rare that it was handwritten. And so we did the input. We have amazing input centers. They are really amazing. And they input both of them, both versions. But some of the work was done from people who saw the written version and typed it into a computer. And all we have is the record from the computer. But since it's all we have, and we're looking for the original handwritten ones. I believe they're in Tibet. I don't believe we can get to them. I think we should start inputting the Rendawa data that we have into the databases. Over 100 texts, I think. And we should do that. Nick, I have one more question for you tonight, and I think we have another 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
The people who pay for the ALL, which pays for the input centers, asked me for a grant from my foundation to help pay the people who do the typing. And we do that every year. We have done that every year. This year, we had some expenses that we didn't expect. Some were legal expenses. Some were, what were they? Oh, they're expenses for a documentary about Grandpa. And that I wasn't, I didn't know what the schedule was for the payment, but anyway, it emptied out the foundation for the next month or 2 months. We don't have a lot of money to give grants for a few months, and then it will be okay. Then we'll be back to normal. But those grants, I'd like to, Nick, ask you to oversee a end of the year bonus for all of the input operators. And we're talking the ones in the south. We're talking the Sanskrit operators in Varanasi. We're talking about the Sanskrit operators in Kathmandu. And we're talking about the new input operators in Mongolia, who are the staff that was cataloging in the Mongolian National Library, and they've shifted to input now.
Awesome.
So those people did work for the last year on the cataloging. Now they're input operators. If the transition has been made smoothly, and I would like to make a grant from DCC, which I think is appropriate from DCC. If DCC could make a grant so that's 3 areas of the world in Southeast Asia, and then 1 in Northeast Asia. So basically 4, right, Nick? If you combine the southern ones together, the most southern ones together. Mm-hmm. Then we have basically 4 input centers, okay? And what I'd like you to do, Nick, is it's very simple. I'd like you to get from ALL 4 numbers, and those are the actual labor cost to those workers during the last year, 2025. How much wages that were paid to the input operators, including the supervisors, okay? So these are the people who do all the work. And I'd like you to create ask John and Emma, please send us a report of 4 numbers. What's the labor for the workers and the supervisors? I'm not talking about overhead, and I'm especially not talking about American overhead.
Right.
I'm talking about, if the whole thing collapsed tomorrow and I wanted to keep those centers going without any fundraising activity, without any management on this side, what would it really cost? What would be the cost of that? And if I have a number, if I have 4 numbers of the wages, the actual wages of the input operators, then our foundation through DCC can make a grant for that amount to Emma and John. That's not what they were hoping for. They were hoping for a certain amount of the entire year's expenses, which I can't give right now. I don't have it in the foundation. So, but I think I can give a year-end bonus to the staff, which to me is the most important thing to do right away. For the people typing all day, to me, those are the people that I really want to make sure that they're happy and they get rewarded for their work. Okay. Yeah, so it's 4 numbers.
So again, it's
it's
South
4.5 numbers.
South India, all the centers combined, Varanasi.
Well, there's only 2 that I know of, and we could split them. So it's 2 in the south, 1 in Varanasi, 1 in Kathmandu. That's 4, and 1 in
Kathmandu, Mongolia.
Yeah, and I'm not. I don't believe there's input going on. Well, there is some cataloging going on in a tiny monastery in West Mongolia, and we could get that number too. So it's 1, 2 in Mongolia. It's 2 Sanskrit centers. That's 4, and 2 Tibetan language centers. That's 6. 6 numbers. Okay. And then we'll try to make a grant for those guys for New Year's, and you have to keep an eye on the New Year's calendar, Nick.
Okay.
I think it's. Anybody know when the Tibetan New Year is? I don't know. Is it also February 16th? I don't know.
18th of February, I think. 18th.
Let me see here.
16th is Chinese New Year.
That's my calendar says the 18th.
Yeah, it's the 18th. Okay. So traditionally in Tibetan culture, it's nice to get your bonus on New Year's. Okay. So Nick, try to do it by next week, right?
Sure.
And that when I propose 10%.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to give me 4 numbers, which are 10%. And,
all right.
Yeah, 10% of their annual. Yeah. Cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, and I know all this information is, I don't know who's on the call. I don't know if you're interested in it, but this is what it takes to run the translators. Without that database, the work would be very low level, so as translators, you have to be in this business, and it's all about, hardware and making workers happy and all that stuff. So, okay. Then Nick, please let them know that we're happy to do a larger grant in a couple months when when the well's water fills up again.
Okay.
By the way, that water is filled up mainly through the work of two companies, DCI and SCIM, and if those were ever endangered in any way, if their activities were ever endangered in any way, it would crush most of our activities. So there's something I have on my mind nowadays. All right, I have to think about Nick is. Oh, so Nick, we're gonna do something cute that you knew that we were gonna do sooner or later. I propose that we take a real book and we try to put it into the catalog.
Yes.
And hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll have a master catalog between us two.
Yes. Yeah.
Yours is more trustworthy, but if Jamie identifies books in mine that you don't have, that'd be interesting. Yeah. Okay. So
it's probably pretty unlikely because every book that you ask me for, I do keep a record of it, unless you're finding stuff without me, but then you would still ask a number.
It has most of the time, yeah. By the way, everyone should know that Nick gives catalog numbers to our books. Now, just so you know, I'm going to show you something interesting. You can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to take you to Mr. Rendon. Where is Mr. Rendon? Come back here. That's not behaving. Okay, let's go like here. Okay. Rendawa. Yeah, and by the way, Nick, at some point we need a Lindsay type of person to keep. We have to decide who's in this group and what's the attendance, who's going to keep attendance, and who's going to. I would like to offer some payment to the people who do regular work during this time, like John Malpas or something, if he chooses to. So here's Rendawa. Here's the input.
Team nerds.
Yeah, there's the input. There's some typical input. Let's look at it. One more thing, Nick, before that, okay? Which means we're not going to get to any cataloging tonight.
We'll have it ready for you next week.
What was that? Oh, I want to introduce everybody to some strange primitive thing. I hate to call myself primitive, but I'm at that age. Here's a primitive thing that we used to keep up. This was the ACIP catalog. You can see it was added. It's been updated to 2012 or something like that. But we used to keep a list of all the books that we had ever cataloged, and we used to keep it in ASCII. It looks like this. Let me get that bigger. Okay, it looks like this. It's very, very crude. It's very primitive. It's ASCII. This is the same letters that all computers work off of. And if you were interested in protecting data, you would have an ASCII version of your database, and also an ASCII version of your catalog. And then your modern tools like, Dropbox or whatever, could read the ASCII and interpret it through AI. And I assume Jamie could turn this record into an AI generated catalog of our stuff, okay? But in my heart, I want to keep a catalog in ASCII. And I know it's primitive, and I know nobody does that, and I think it's very smart. I want to show you another catalog.
that's just the way it's done, though. I mean, at
Yeah,
the
that's
heart
the
of
way
it,
it's done.
no, I mean, at the heart of it, it would be a
I
database like
know.
a JSON database, which
Yeah,
is just like a text file. It's just
it's
ASCII.
just
Yeah,
I'm a text file fan.
exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
at the heart of everything, that's how it is.
yeah, the
If you
heart of
drill
all
down,
computers work off of text files.
right, right.
Tell that to people who bother me. Now, one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Here's my version of the database. Here's my reference materials. Here's my catalogs. And by the way, Jamie, why do these have such short names?
So you can sort them and find them easily?
Nope. In the days when we began this project,
Oh, character limits.
every
Yeah.
file name was limited to 8 letters.
Right.
It's unbelievable. And I haven't changed them back yet. And that's something we can do when we have nothing else to do. Okay, which is never going to happen. But I want to show you St. Pete. Okay, here's St. Pete. By the way, I'll stop in 4 minutes, don't worry. Here's the Institute has 141,000 books. The university had 8,000 books. Not bad, across the river. We finished that within the first 4 or 5 years. The Institute took 12 years. And here's what the files look like. And they are in ASCII. Okay? Let me see. Come on, honey. I think it's so much that it. Let me see. Let me try another one.
Why does it say Microsoft Word document on the right-hand side if it's an
I don't know
ASCII
why.
That's
Maybe
just
I-
how, that's just how
Because
his
you've
computer is
associated
set
it
up.
with your Word
file?
program.
Okay, okay.
It doesn't recognize ACT files.
Geshe, right click and open with text edit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
right.
you have to
Open
pick
with other.
Yeah.
I'm going to open it with Microsoft Word if it's okay.
Open with other.
It
See
might
what
save that way forever. Let's see.
That answers why it's showing Word, because that's the default
Well,
opener.
hey, Nick, here's this book. You might know it.
We
Okay.
can't-
This is book number 14,001 in St. Petersburg, is Nick's book.
Oh,
By some-
see it. We're
It's
only
not
seeing.
opening somehow for us.
Oh,
you're
you
only
can't
showing
see
what's
it.
for your screen, not the
We
whole
only
thing.
see
Probably
your
you're
screen.
you're just sharing the.
Oh, I got it. Hang on. Come back, Zoom. Come back to me. Here we go. All right. Oh, that's not Zoom. Stop sharing. Hang on. Still got 3 minutes of your time. And then
You
my
have as
wife
much
wants.
time as you want.
Then my wife wants me to eat. I don't know why.
We all need you to eat.
Yeah.
There. Can you see that?
Yep.
Sort of. It's unpleasant
File
to look,
conversion.
but yes.
Yeah. I don't know why it's showing this other thing. I'm sorry. Hang on. Oh, okay. This will be okay. How's that?
Better.
Are you seeing a catalog? Oh, shoot.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's what a catalog looks like. And as John Malpas would know, and Jamie, it's very primitive. Like title is T:, so that a computer program that you build later can build titles into a fancier website online or something like that. Okay, but this is the way the information is stored at the base. And this is a catalog of the 141,000 books we did in St. Petersburg. And this format is very, very rich. Okay, S means our catalog number of that book in St. Petersburg. By the way, this catalog has relevance. Someone just gave us permission to get Tim's book there. There is no other copy. We sent them this catalog, and it worked fine. Okay, so you got our catalog number. N means the original catalog number of the Russians for the last 100 years, which are all mixed up and everywhere. T means title. The rest I'll show you later. This is the author. This is the format, xylograph. These are the page numbers. This is the physical measurements of the page and the physical measurements of the text block inside the line. And then here's the centimeters, I think, yeah. Is it? Yeah. And then, so the paper is a certain width and length, and then the printed area is a certain width and length. And that's a kind of an irrefutable proof that you got the right book. And I forget the rest, but here's the colophon, which is extremely valuable. Why I say this is, I would like that this team goes back to having an ASCII catalog for our data. Because we don't have a list of our data. We have the database, we have the folders, but we don't have a separate list of what's in the folders. You see what I mean? So that's something I'd like to do with you guys, and it's possible we could AI much of it. And the AI could kind of be driven, Jamie, from the St. Petersburg catalog. If St. Petersburg 141,000 books has the specific copy that we have in our database, then we just copy the entry. We just copy the ASCII entry into our master catalog. But our master catalog is out of business. It's gone. So that's today's lesson, you guys. Just relax, don't worry about it. But if my idea is without preparation, without doing much in the week, which I don't have time to do, I would like to do this meeting with you once a week. And slowly, we'll prioritize. To me, highest priority is to get all the books into the database where we can use them. So I would kind of like to ignore all the other issues right now, which there are many. And if we don't focus on getting new books into the database, we'll be stuck. So next week, my plan is we talk about how do we name a file after we type it in. Okay, we type in Rendawa's third book in his collected works. Now, how do you put a name on that file? What's the rules for putting a name on that file? Okay. And by the way, the catalog numbers, Jamie, they were never intended to be sequential, because we knew we could never confirm that we had all the possible books by Tsongkhapa, and then reserve those numbers for him. It's just hopeless, because we keep finding new books every day. And I didn't want to do what was done by BDRC. That the catalog numbers are unwieldy, they are unusable. They have about, 10 to 30 characters in them, and I don't want to have a catalog entry for a book that is longer than it needs to be. You see me? So, okay, I'm going to have dinner, you guys.
Can I ask you a quick question just to clarify?
Yeah.
I said I had your data, but that's as of December 2024.
Oh, you didn't tell me the year.
Yeah.
How do I just expose myself here?
Yeah, how do I get it? Can someone there help to get it to me via Dropbox?
Anatole just promised to send you. I'd like to send you a backup of my whole computer.
I wanted to get it in Japan, but
I'll send you a backup of my whole computer. Nowadays it goes on a little flash drive. So I'll send you 2 or 3 copies, and you just keep it. And that's safer for me too.
Okay, but how do I just can I get the A folder kind of quick?
Well, you're going to have to open up the flash drive and go to the A folder and copy it. That's all. I can do it separately. I can give it to you.
I mean, yeah, whatever is easier. But
I just assume it takes about 3 hours nowadays to back up my home machine and put it on a little flash drive. So,
well, how does it get to you? How does it get to you?
I overnight it to you through Anatole. Or Anatole flies to Thailand, to your village.
Come on, Anatole.
The last 10 miles is by ox cart, right, Bo? All right. I'll do that, Jamie. Me and Anatole, we meet once a week for to clean up his editing of the final books for DCC. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, you handsomes. Thank you for.
you.
By the way, this meeting I kind of see it as, you know, what do you call it? Voluntary. If you want to come, come, but you don't have to come. Okay. I want the guys who want to come and who can't help themselves. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Have a good dinner.
Yeah, I can smell it. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye. I love
Geshe.
you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for
Bye.
coming. Thank you for supporting Xuanzang's Tower. Thank you, Geshe Michael. See you next time.
Good night.